Yeah. Welcome to We Felt That.
It's Lil Baby.
My name is Ihram. No Gary today. Gary could not make it because this was a very last minute pod recording. Not our usual day, but I wanted to get this episode out early because the internet was ablaze and I had something to say. And for those of y'all that have not heard from me one-on-one before, I kind of akin being a podcast host to being like a rapper in his prime. Sometimes like you get the inspiration and you get the hit and you just need to hit the studio. And that's kind of how I felt like this week. I was like itching. So Myron from Fresh and Fit is beefing with Akaash Singh and Jasleen Singh. So this is what's been flooding my timeline, and not in like the greatest of ways. It's interesting. So I guess their beef stemmed from when Myron did Flagrant, like however long ago. Myron and his co-host did Flagrant, and the clips that went viral from that whole interaction were really of like Andrew and mainly Akaash kind of like checking Myron and his co-host for their takes on their platform. And I guess like let me start there because there's like a lot of things to unpack here. So I felt it felt weird seeing it because it felt like there was no communication or anything, and who knows, right? There might have been, but there's no real communication between that clip and today, right? We just see Myron basically taking a clip from Jasleen's pod and telling Akaash, your wife a hoe. And I want to be like, before I get really into this, like we got to be very, very careful because the way that people would be talking about people's wives and like people's wives are involved, right? Like I think that this is something that deserves care. So Myron just kind of says like, yo, your wife a hoe. And this was the first of many attacks against Akaash. And then what the internet picked up right after the fact was not pretty. So Myron basically puts out this clip. I guess he felt a way that when I went up on your platform, you guys had this energy for me. And now I got something that I could pull on you. And that to me was like the first bit of like, this was kind of corny. Because like, if you, Myron, you didn't have that energy towards Akaash and Andrew when you were on their platform. Like you kind of just sat there and took it. And you sat there and took it. And then months later, when you saw an opportunity through the man's wife, that's when you decided, yo, this is when I'm going to hit him over the head with this. And that right there is what I kind of want to start with. I think it's corny. And I don't know when it became not corny, or maybe just the internet doesn't think it's corny and I think it's corny and the rest of humanity thinks it's corny. But when did it become regular to go at a man through his wife? Like, when did we, like, as a man, I feel like you could come at another man for a lot of things, like money, whatever, money, hoes, whatever the fuck, right? But to come at another man for his wife, I always thought that shit was like out of bounds. Especially like that shit was out of bounds. Like if somebody was like your girl, right? Like your actual girlfriend, like people knew that was out of bounds. They knew that like, yo, like if that's my girl for real, like we could joke about whoever else around, right? And however else like those relationships are. But as soon as that becomes my girl for real, like we serious, even if we playing, that shit is kind of off limits. And I don't know when the internet kind of changed that, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, that shit is just not like, forget the content of what it is that he's saying about your wife. Just going at your wife and saying your wife's name is just nasty work, especially because like it's not like your wife, it's not like Jasleen is going at Myron, right? It's like, yo, you took my beef with you, another man, and then I spun it to go involve your girl. Like even in like rap beefs, like you wouldn't really see that shit. Like, and if you saw it, you knew that it was like, okay, like now we got to go there. And that's where I think it's interesting because I'm like, if you're Akaash, like, what do you do? Like, do you give this energy? Because like, I don't even know how to say it like nicely and gently. The shit that they saying about Jasleen is like, oh, like you lied about being a virgin. And like, if you anybody that's outside, if you like a real human, you're like, damn, what the fuck is this? Y'all ain't ever been around some women? Y'all ain't ever been around people that have lives? And I know like they pressing her because she was like, oh, like I was a virgin when I met Akaash, and Akaash was like, oh, I was a virgin when whatever the fuck, right? And they pulling out like clips of like her from like podcasts from years ago. They pulled out a Horrible Decisions clip before these motherfuckers had video. Like they had audio only clips that Myron kind of put together and was like, yo. And it's so, first of all, I think it's disgusting. I think it's gross to come at a woman for her past, regardless of whoever the fuck it is. I think that that's like weird behavior. And I like, again, like on the Jasleen and Akaash side, I do think it's strange that like, you know, people come on the internet and then talk about their sex lives with their partners. I think that that's like something that like, even if it was easy for clicks, like I just would not try and participate in, because like you got to keep certain things sacred and away from the internet. You have to keep certain things sacred. Like your wife, your kids, your real friends. You got to keep that shit like kind of off the internet. Because I bounce with that a lot. Like I'm like, yo, sometimes I come up and I'm like, yo, I can say a lot and I know a lot, right? I'm saying shit that's like not even real in my personal life. Like I know a lot, I see a lot. But I'm like, some shit is just for the real world. Because as soon as you open that shit up to the internet, and I think that's the only mistake that, I think that truly is the only mistake that Jasleen made, is that you opened yourself up to the internet. And when you do that, you have to now play internet games. And internet games are not like real life games. Internet games, you're dealing with a bunch of bots from India. You're dealing with a bunch of motherfuckers that ain't never been outside and have lived on the internet their entire lives. You're dealing with like people that they really have no better life. So that's why they're on the internet talking. That's the only mistake, honestly, from Jasleen's perspective, from Akaash's perspective. It's like, you didn't do anything. Like, there's nothing like, this isn't like real, like criticism of you. It's like, what? I went out in college? Yeah. This is the part that I'm really confused about. All these like red pill, like my wife gotta be like X, Y, and Z. What women are y'all with? What women are y'all with? I need to see them. Yo, my wife gotta be X, Y, and Z, and she could have never talked to a dude. I'm like, all that screams as you ain't never been outside. That's the real problem. They never, like, all of them just have never experienced the hoe that ruined their life. Sometimes you gotta go through that. Sometimes you gotta go outside and be like, yo, she was fun, and that was it. And I think if you don't experience that, you have these like weird motherly views of women. Like everybody got to reflect the goodness of your mother inside women. Unless you've actually been outside and talked to some real women. It really made me sad on the way over here. I'm like, on the way over, I was like, fuck, is this the internet that we dealing with? But I also felt like, yo, we should say something, because like that is the problem, right? I think that like the people that are being platformed right now are people that are catering to a very specific audience, and that audience makes up a majority of the internet. Like the people that are being platformed are the people that can acquiesce to that type of rhetoric, because that's who uses the internet. Like motherfuckers that are really lit, motherfuckers that are really lit are outside being lit, are outside talking to the hoes. It's just all y'all on the keyboard that have time to engage on the internet. That's a very, very extreme part of the population. And y'all think that that's validation? I think me and my girl were talking about it. We're like, I think like people who engage on the internet, there's only two groups. I think there's only two groups that truly engages on the internet on like a regular level. People that are on the internet to make some money off the internet, and then just weirdos. That's really it. Because we've now gone through the social media cycle. We even know what it is. And now it's just reserved for these like bot accounts in India. Like you can just tell. That's the part that really pissed me off. We were talking about it before, right before we started recording, right? Our last episode was, because it was political, right? Because we talked about Zoran, right? It had a little buzz. And I'm looking at the comments and I'm trying to respond to some of them because that's who I am. I'm like, yo, like, I will engage. And I'm like, who the fuck am I engaging with? I'm not even saying it's not a real person, but I'm like, yo, this is just like this person. If they didn't have access to this keyboard and this wasn't on like a public place, I would never talk to this person in my entire life. This person wouldn't get within 100 feet of me. There's no way. They would never be in the room that I would be in. But because we participate on the internet, you think that you could talk to me. I think I'm curious how Akaash and Jasleen are going to profit from this, by the way. Like, y'all think that, like, Akaash really mad, right? Like, yo, you think that's his wife? You think that there's anything in the world that y'all know about his wife that he don't know about his wife? Be honest. That's the arrogance in y'all. I see y'all. I'll be like, oh, he's getting exposed. His wife's getting exposed and he don't know that. I'm like, yo, you think there's anything in the world? That's his wife, right? You think there's anything in the world that you motherfuckers know about his wife that he don't know about his wife? That he hasn't already like talked through? And he's sitting there. I hope Akaash and Jasleen are sitting here laughing because he's just started selling tickets to his Radio City show. And all that shit, all y'all commenting, laughing, having your little hee-hees, that don't change y'all life. Y'all still living in your mom's bedroom, tweeting from a 200 square foot room, talking about, his life over. Meanwhile, him and Jasleen sitting around, grabbing a check, opening up her like fifth Birkin. Like that, it's so funny because they really think on the internet that they got some shit off. Like, we made this happen. You still broke. Your life still, nobody still know your name. I think it's unfortunate because the real motherfuckers ain't on the internet. There's a very few small percentage of real motherfuckers on the internet. Everybody else just playing internet games. Like I look at the media landscape, the internet landscape, and I'm like, yo, 99% of y'all, if the internet didn't exist, would be bums, would be losers. Keep it 100. That's why real motherfuckers, they just cut through. Like Joe Budden, ask yourself why he cuts through. That's just a real motherfucker, right? Like that's outside of the internet. Joe is lit still. Like y'all can sit around talk about whoever the fuck. Outside of if the internet didn't exist, Joe Budden would be fine. He'd be a real motherfucker. He would still have respect in circles. Like anybody who really cut through. You're like, yo, this motherfucker would still be respected in certain circles, even if this platform and this internet didn't exist. Whoever y'all want to name. Schultz, Rogan. Like, that's, like, again, take the internet away. The internet for them is extra money from the rest of y'all. Take that shit away tomorrow. Rogan's still going to be doing comedy. Schultz is still going to be doing comedy. Joe would rap. Joe would do something. He would just be a real motherfucker. That's I get mad at the internet stuff. Like I get real mad and heated because I'm like, why do I participate in this shit? I'm like, why do I sit here and participate in like, I participate in it because I think you need, if we're all going to be on the internet, you need motherfuckers to actually echo sentiment that's against whatever it is. Otherwise, you just have to give it up to the losers. You just have to give it up to the like emo kids and say like, yo, y'all got the internet now. And here's the thing. If we are casuals and we are casually using the internet, we still want to see quality shit. We still want people to represent the good of the humanity on the internet too. Because I do think the internet is a valuable place. Right? I think the internet is such a valuable place. I think it is like a free marketplace. But it's unfortunate because it's being dominated by a consumer base that's just corny. Like, you got to think about who y'all talking to. Like, that red pill shit, like, it's just, who are y'all talking to? Like, who is it that's on the end of it? Because here's the thing. All of y'all like, oh, Myron got money, or this person got money, this person got money. Yo, you can still have money and be a loser. Like, I know a lot of y'all think like, yo, I'm going to get money, I'm going to get fit, and then I'm going to get all the women. And at the end of it, you will realize that ain't nobody love you for any of those reasons. Ain't nobody love you for those reasons. Ain't nobody really love you for those reasons. Right? Because the man who builds himself off of that, if God ever choose to take that away, just know the women that you think that you getting is immediately leaving. That's the beautiful part about like real love. Like, what's real cannot be taken away. What's real can never be taken away. Because I can't even like, I wish I could, look, let me be kind to y'all, because I've been shitting on y'all. Let me get to my larger point about this, right? Because the Akaash and Jasleen stuff is really just a segue into how I really feel. I just want to let men that are listening know that like I can't describe it to you. You just got to go out there and experience it. You just have to go out and experience like real love. Like, go outside, fall in love with somebody for real. Not for body count, not for money, not for whatever. Go outside and fall in love for real. Like, especially like, because I know I got like a real brown man audience, right? Like, brown men, go outside and fall in love for real. Not like, oh, I'm trying to up my body count and I want to be with somebody that don't got a body count and I want to hit this girl and crack this girl. Go outside and fall in love for real. It'll change your life. It'll change your perspective on everything. Because a lot of y'all that feel the way that y'all feel have probably never experienced that level of love from your mother and your father the way that you should have. Or from your brother that you should have. Or your best friend that you should have. Because as soon as you experience that real love from somebody in your life, it'll change your entire worldview. It's unfortunate. Like, I see why those motherfuckers have platforms, right? It's not because of any crazy skill. Like, I don't look at any of those folks and I'm like, oh, look, you're a great orator, or like you develop great content. Y'all are hitting a quick lick off of a vulnerable population that just don't know love. Red pill shit. That's the real black pill. Fall in love. Fall in love for real. Like, go outside. If your mom's still around, go love your mom. It don't even gotta be like, yo, go outside and fall in love. Like, love your mom, love your pops. Try to get some love back. Shit is... I know Jasleen and Akaash just sitting there counting up their money. Like, I know, like, and that's the corny part. Like, that is the real corny part. Because everybody on the internet think that, like, Myron got real issues with Akaash or whatever the fuck it is. For Myron, that shit is a check. That shit did numbers. It did, like, the original tweet that he put up, whatever. That shit did, like, 3 mil. He made a lick off of y'all. Y'all over here like, oh, like Myron's laughing. Like, Myron don't give a fuck about that either. He got a check. That's all it was for him. And that's what we have to separate. We have to separate what is for the internet and what is your real life. Shit's stupid. Just so stupid. That like, it's so funny though, because like you could almost try to convince yourself, like you sit around long enough and just consume that shit over and over again, and consume the people that are also consuming that over and over again. It becomes like an echo chamber. You think that's how all other men think, right? Like, yo, me and my boys are out in New York. I am happily cuffed up, but me and my boys are out in New York. My boys are sluts. You don't think that, you think that as soon as we get around, you think that we care about that shit? You think we're thinking about like, yo, what is this girl body count? Can I cuff her? We not thinking about that shit. That shit has never come up in a real conversation, ever. Ever. Nobody has ever brought up somebody else's girl and been like, oh, but she slept with X, Y, and Z. I got friends that are dating exes of other friends. That happens. But we real adults and we real men, so we handle that the way we're supposed to handle that. There's conversations. There's real conversations. Not, oh, I hit your chick like X. That shit is corny. Like, if you're doing that at the big age of 28, 29, 30, like that shit is like some shit that like you should have left in high school. I remember when that was a thing for us in high school. We used to be like, he got my sloppy seconds. At our age, at 28, 29, you're talking about people's wives. You're talking about people's like baby moms. And you're talking about, oh, like what? Like how can, this is gonna piss me off. How can y'all ever expect to advance in y'all relationships if y'all can't get past point A? If y'all, like, at some point, like, yo, like life is a beautifully complicated thing, right? Like there's mixed families, right? Like there's so many different lifestyles out there, and you're going to have to navigate one of them at some point in your life. Like people who think that their life is going to be so linear, right? It's like, who are y'all joking on? Who are you? Like, you don't even believe that. Because give it time. Give it 10 years. Like you think you so smart. You marry the girl with no bodies until she divorced your ass in 10 years because you hit a down year in the business. What happens then? Shit is clown shit. I guess the next topic I want to get into, because I don't want to spend all my time on the red pills of the world. So Rolling Stone India did an amazing article about, I guess, Travis Scott had a concert in India, and it was, so basically what happened was that the tickets came out and immediately sold out, and then tickets were going for 2x, 3x, 4x the price. Travis Scott and then the promotion group puts out one more batch of tickets for another show. So then all the existing tickets in the marketplace tanked in value. So people are reselling it for below retail. And it got me thinking, because obviously this is Rolling Stone India, because obviously like India is having a renaissance when it is coming to like live music venues and live music shows. So they're facing the reselling problem for not the first time, but they're facing the reselling problem now more so. And it really got me thinking. I was like, damn, how do you fix this? Artists basically have to control the supply of their own tickets. Because right now, like when you give it off to like a Ticketmaster or somebody else to distribute, like you don't have control over it. And Ticketmaster is just basically flooding the market with all the tickets, right? Because like they don't really care if it's getting resold, and they might even be participating in the reselling of it. But if you're an artist and you truly want real fans at your show, because I thought about it, I was like, yo, when the Travis Scott show, the second one dropped and all these resellers are the ones that were left holding the tickets, what if they couldn't move that out? Granted, the Travis Scott one did sell out and had like a full crowd. The show happened, all of that. But I was like, damn, if you're Trav and all of your tickets are being held by resellers that aren't going to actually attend the show, what happens if they can't move those tickets in time? Do you want to perform for an empty crowd? Your first time in India? That's like not a good feeling. Like I think about like any artist that's touring. When you give your tickets off to a Ticketmaster or like a StubHub, you're saying, hey, who attends my show is not up to me. But if you're an artist and your real livelihood, like the people that consume your music on a real level, is dependent on your consumers and your fans, that's a horrible experience. And it's not a sustainable experience. I think that's where people are getting this fucked up. The resale market is not a sustainable business model. Like right now, T Swift and all of these folks don't care because when I put out my tickets, it's gonna sell out anyway. But how many of those shitty experiences does a consumer or a fan go through before they're like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not paying 3x for the next 4 Travis Scott concerts. Whereas if they get one great experience, yo, next time Trav come on tour, I'm gonna go again, and I'm gonna go again, and I'm gonna go again. I think about that shit even in New York all the time. I'm like, if I see somebody and it costs me like a good clip, I might be good off of it if it was a shitty experience. But if I see somebody and it was amazing, even if I paid for the ticket, they come again, I had an amazing experience. I'm coming again and again and again because it's worth the money. Like people have no problem spending the money. People have problems spending the money when they're like, okay, I spent the money, but I didn't get the experience that I wanted to feel. That's what all we're trading off of us, right? Like we're trying to buy happiness. You buy an experience, you hope that you feel gratitude after. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give some shine before we wrap up here because this was a heated episode. I went out to. I do this from time to time. Like I'll like just dolo going to a random show that I want to hit. It's never really dolo because I always like go to shows that I know I'm gonna bump into people, especially like folks in the industry. So like last week I was like in the Uber coming back from my cousin's and on the way back to the crib, I was like, you know what? Still pretty early. And anytime you drink a little, you're like, damn, 12:30, still pretty early. And I was like, all right, fuck it. So hit one of the spots, got to catch my boy, Mr. Saj. And I had to think, I was like, yo, like, let me do a recap of like, so these are my best live music experience. These are my best live music experiences that I've had. And so I guess PSA, like a lot of mine are going to be like DJs because I'm not a huge fan of just like going to like massive concerts to see my favorite artist. I like just don't get the experience that I feel like I want to out of it. Like I want to really be inside like the music, and nothing gives you that than like a great DJ set. So I guess, and this is in no particular order, but these are like some of my favorite sets that I've experienced in New York. I want to say first like Kahani at Brooklyn Mirage last year. Which is like an unfair one because I was like literally like on stage dancing up like a thotty. But outside of that, just like an incredible set. The energy just there was insane. Connie's always crushed. I've seen him play multiple times. Just amazing vibes the entire way. Another one that comes to mind is Z Muffin played No Nuzzer maybe 2 years ago. And I remember she opened with an Ahad Had a Dream flip that went absolutely like nuts. Like there's so many videos of people backstage just going absolutely nuts when she opened the venue with that. She opened her set with that. Like there's so many videos of like people just getting emotional at the opening of her set. And I was like, oh. And then she dropped Hannah Montana in the middle of the set. And I was like, ah. Yeah, I make the craziest, disgusting faces when the music just be hitting. And then you know what? I'm gonna put it up there, even though it was very recent, and this is not recency bias. I went to Aphrodesi like 2 weeks ago. Mr. Saj put on one of the craziest sets I've ever heard live. Like, I was in there just, everyone is moving and dancing. And for everybody who says like nightlife is dead, like it did not feel that way in that spot. Like this was like, I specifically wanted to see one of his sets because I've only seen and heard great things. And man, when I tell you, like, just the energy, like hit after hit after hit after hit, like had everybody on a string. And I was like, like he dropped a Ekbalka Gina like mix. Yo, Mr. Saj, if you're listening, I'm gonna need all of those on my phone, in my email, like ASAP. Like, I don't even, that's when you know the DJ is incredible. When you don't even recognize whose mixes these are. I don't even know if they're his originals, if he's playing other DJs. I just know, like, I'm so entrenched in the crowd and in the music in that time. What do we think, Carter? Do we think that the top of this is gonna get me so clipped? I feel like I'm gonna have Red Pill Twitter just cooking my shit. You ever like, yo, right before I got on this, I went through my Twitter and IG. I was like, damn, what are they about to say about me? Like, yo, guys, I know this was a very impromptu episode, but I appreciate y'all rocking with us. We got some Thanksgiving's coming up, but we will have an episode. This is going to be the episode for this week. We're probably not going to have an episode until the third week of November, but we will be back. This is going to come out like ASAP because I'm going to go home and set this up right now. But keep up with us. I know this is episode 3, so episode 4. So I do want to talk to the audience in that sense, right? Like, it's been early. We've been having like a lot of fun doing these. The reception has been incredible. Kind of like buzzing on YouTube a little bit. So we happy with those results. We really want to like contribute here, right? And like, you know, we're gonna tinker with the show, tinker with like our flow, tinker with like the format a little bit until we finally get something that feels really right. I didn't really want to overthink this pod, right? Like this pod wasn't supposed to feel like real work. It was supposed to feel like, hey, I have a place that I can just come every week, talk my shit, and keep it pushing. Because I do live in the real world. Y'all, this was We Felt That. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.